New OGs. The New OGs is a State and Madison Entertainment production and is brought to you by Solar Masters. Look, Illinois is changing how people get their electricity, and Solar Masters is helping homeowners in Illinois take advantage of a program that lets them get solar power at no cost. If you're a single-family homeowner in the state of Illinois, you can lower your electric bill, raise the value of your home, and you can do something good for the environment without paying a single dollar out of your pocket to do so. In fact, Solar Masters can only work with you if they can save you money. Solar Masters is Black-owned. It's a SunPower dealer. They're an American panel maker with over 30 years of solar experience. They even have a referral program that pays out as much as $500 per referral. So get over to www.gosolarmasters.com and get in contact for a free consultation.
Bobby!
Yes, sir.
Bobby!
Yes, sir.
Sir, good sir. Did I hear you say that people can save money on their... Well, you know, Bobby, I'll explain the accent, but first I have to talk about what you just said. You just said people can save money on their electricity.
Yeah, they can save money on their electricity.
They could do something good for the environment.
They can do something good for the environment. I'll have so many questions when we're done with that.
And then they could even make a little money for themselves. A little pocket change, would you?
They could make a couple quid on the side. Yeah.
A couple quid on the side. Well, how about that?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Robert, I would say that's gooder than a government check.
It's quite posh, I'd say. It's quite posh.
It's gooder than a government check, because you know what? A government check is always good.
I would take a government check. You know what I mean? So, yeah, definitely. Get over to www.gosolarmasters.com. Get in contact for a free consultation.
It's always good to get money from the people who print it.
Right. Yeah. The people who print the money are willing to hand it to you. You should definitely take that. That's the kind you know should be good.
Right. If you're wondering why I'm doing this horrible accent, it's because it's the reason I'm doing this horrible accent is because I'm trying to practice cultural appropriation. You know? White people do it so often. I want to see what it was like if I did a little bit of what they do. You know,
it's fun, right?
And then I got my stimmy. They hit me with the stimmy. Right? They give me the stimmy, so I feel good. So I say, you know what? Let's go out there and just like I'll be a British bloke for a minute.
Yeah, I mean, now that you have the ability and the wherewithal to do it with the stimmy and everything, now
they hit me with the stimmy, you know, and I got a lad, so I double up on the stimmy.
You said you got a lad? Oh, you have a lad. You have a child.
Yeah, okay, you know,
yeah. I'm sorry, I thought you meant that differently when you said you had a lad. I was like, do we need to have a conversation off there?
I'm not that far on the cultural appropriation.
Not that far yet. Last, also get to People of Comedy on Facebook. See all the great shows they've got offered there. Check in daily. They've got new fresh podcasts all the time. New great series with Joey Villagomez. You can watch them. You can listen to them. You can see them live on some of those. You can find them wherever you listen to pods. Get over to People of Comedy. You'll find them on Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, and pretty much anywhere else you're gonna want to watch stuff live, right? Yeah.
Yes,
that's
sir.
what's up.
What's going on, man?
I can't keep doing that. Thank God.
Good, because I'm not really sure what that was.
I'm horrible at accents. That shit is fatiguing to me. I don't know how those people talk like that all the time. It's like it's fatiguing to continue that.
Yeah. It seems like, I mean,
it's a lot of work.
You get that much more ass with the accent? Because is it weird?
I was all over the place. I hit like 7 different parts of England.
I was going to ask you, is there a place?
And Jamaica too, I think.
Yeah, you had a few different locations. I wasn't exactly sure what the core location for that was.
I don't drink anymore, but when I got
Are you sure?
The few times that I got really drunk in my life, for some reason, I'd always like to do a British accent randomly. And then it was actually pretty good, but I was drunk, so who knows?
It's enticing.
You know, that's crazy, because I have been with you and seen you consume an awful lot of liquor. And I'm like, damn, this dude got to be drunk by now. It seemed like it wasn't really fucking with you.
Well, I stopped drinking more because it took so much to get me drunk than because I didn't like drinking. Like, I still like a stiff cocktail, but it doesn't do anything for me. I just like the feel of drinking like good whiskey. You know what I mean?
Like, you know those superhero
good whiskey
shows?
tastes good to me.
You know the superhero shows where like the Flash or whatever is at a bar with all his friends, and they're like, "What are you doing? You're not gonna get drunk." He's like, "Well, I just like to fit in with everybody." You know?
It's
the same shit.
I am that, except for my metabolism exactly the opposite.
Right.
The slow. I am the slow. He's the Flash. I am the slow.
Yeah, you're good. You're good for like alerts on shit that's going to be happening in the future. You know what I mean? Like, what in 400 days a comet might hit Earth, and they're like, get the slow.
I'm gonna stop it.
A year and a half from now, X is just in the sky. Like,
I'm gonna stop it. I just need a lot of heads up. I just need a whole lot of heads up that the crime's gonna happen, and I'll be there.
Still might be a little late though. Still might be like 10, 15 late. Still hit you about 20.
A couple people gonna die, but like all of y'all have died if I didn't get there at all. You know what I'm saying? So a few people.
The story about a superhero just can't save everybody. Look, man, there's an entire bus, 77 motherfuckers I gotta save.
Hey, I say most of you niggas, like, come on.
Right.
You know? Right.
I mean,
like, all y'all was gonna die. Remember that. That's the slogan.
How many people did the motherfuckers they pay to save you save you?
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, with that no superhero,
I say, like, I still got a better batting average than like Fate.
Right, like it's you as a superhero, and then just like destiny for motherfuckers. You know what I mean? Like it was me or the good Lord, and he obviously was going to take
Superman didn't make it. Well, guess who did? So how about a little less judgy on how long it took me to get here?
Right. Yeah. Like, nobody can live in the Great Lakes for another 10, 15,000 years. At least it's not the entire planet, okay? It's just the way it goes.
Oh, shit. He actually has I actually really have a really fast car, but my license suspended. So
right, so you don't want to.
I gotta take pace. I live in the suburbs.
Right, because
if you miss pace, you gotta wait an hour for another motherfucker to come. So it's gonna be a minute, but I'm gonna get there.
That's hilarious.
Why in the fuck would they give you tickets? This the motherfucker that's saving us. At least we can go get it.
I'm still black, man.
Still
Come
black,
on.
man. You still got to get to the spot. You know what I mean?
Damn.
I mean, shit.
All right, prove you the superhero, nigga. Prove you the superhero, nigga.
All right, give me 48 hours. Oh shit!
Oh shit! The slow coming to the CW this fall, part of the Arrowverse.
You know where that's going. You know where that's going.
That's going to picture me on the couch like this.
Oh,
that's hilarious, man.
I'm gonna get there.
What's up, Rob? How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty well. I don't have a lot to complain about. I'm getting stronger and stronger. I'm doing push-ups and shit now. Not real, actual man push-ups, but I am doing push-ups.
Are you going from the knees? Are you going for standing
I'm
up?
going from the knees, man.
Hey, you know what? Ain't no shame in going from the knees. You start out going from the knees, and then you'll get, you get your shit straight. You got a whole new body part less than a year ago. Like, you ain't got to explain nothing to nobody.
Listen, and then, I got insurance that's new this year, and can I say it's not the best?
Oh, damn. I thought this was going to be a success story, man.
No, not at all. Not at all.
So don't lose the other kidney, okay?
Gotta take very
good care
of
your kidneys.
Man, I ain't drinking nothing.
You got in the best shape you can, man.
I ain't drinking nothing but water and clear shit. I ain't drinking shit that requires much filtering.
There you go.
With it. And so I was dealing with that today, and also I've been working. As you guys know, I haven't been able to get a lot of stuff done with us this week because I'm working on my new comedy special. It's called Lockdown. Now, as I originally imagined it,
we gotta have a sound effect to go with that. I'm sorry for interrupting you, but when you say lockdown, I want to hear ching.
Yeah, it's got to be like a.
Yeah, like
the slam of door closing. You know what I mean? Like
yes, and yeah.
Stories from the county.
So yeah, I was going to make it like a regular comedy special with me doing some time about the jail and talking about a few other things. But as I watched it, I thought I do way more material about the jail than this. And so rather than trying to shoot it again, we interspersed interviews of people that I worked with. Based on, and then it's really a cool thing. I'm just starting to get it. I'm almost done with it. It should be out in like a week or two. And then
so are the interviews built to feed the stories or vice versa, or like
they do blend. They do blend.
Okay.
So
there's gonna be connectivity as you're going through your set.
Because here's the thing,
that it leads into an interview, and then the interview is either connected to that one or to what's coming next, and that's amazing.
Absolutely.
That's so wild. And also original. That's not a thing I've seen, that's a legit special built off of real life experience. You know what I mean?
And in this taping, I thought I had way more jail material than I did on it. I think that they edited a lot of, because I had it edited by someone else. So I went back and I'm trying to get some of the old cuts to see how long, because it was way more than that. But even if it isn't, it'll be enough for me once I extend it. And then I'll just do some other material that I'm currently doing and then call it a show.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. So that's where the work has been this week. You've had some shit going on.
Yeah, I've been doing that all week.
X, what have you been on this week? You been doing anything? You've been
watching the world burn mostly. I can't look away from that shit. Also, I started smoking some new weed. Shout out to new drug dealers. Boom, boom, boom.
New drug dealers love shout outs.
Shout out to new legal dispensaries in Illinois where it's legal to smoke weed.
Oh no. It's straight up dispensary style. I can even he told me I can show his packaging and shit.
Oh look, he's got packaging and everything.
Oh fuck, I can't show it. Yeah, it won't show because of the background and shit. But
yeah. we got special software on
this
shit.
This legal weed. I still got a shit too, but I mean talking about it.
I'm waiting for somebody black to get a dispensary so I can have a.
Speaking of which, I saw a story about Mocha in Logan Square where they've had some discrimination issues, which is one of the legal dispensaries in the city of Chicago. And I haven't gotten full confirmation, but I've seen a report from somebody who worked there that said they got shit on because they were supportive of Black Lives Matter or something like that. And then they found out that the store was either co-owned or had investment from police officers from the city. And so, ACAB is not going to your dispensary to buy your weed. That is definitely not the guys who used to lock away my people and then they get to open the stores to sell weed to my people is not, it's not surprising, honestly. Like for me, I was just like, oh yeah, right. Obviously, you know what I mean? So
wait a minute, you said they were supporting Black Lives Matter?
So the employee who got her hours cut, she's still owed a paycheck, I think. There are other people that reported discrimination issues from there. And then they found out that the cops are either involved in the investment or the running or the operation of the place. And I guess it's the dispensary in Logan Square. So I would, suggest that even though it is a good thing that weed is not illegal, and that you can have it, I would suggest making sure where, even from dispensary, like, hey man, the tough thing about weed before was always this issue of you can never really tell who's getting your shit, right? Like, what am I really supporting cartels if I'm buying weed from Jimmy down the street? Is he an actual part of that deal? Well, like, am I buying weed from an organization that I, have very big issues with because they are actually murdering my actual people in the streets with no guns? So like, I think it's also important to know, like, hey man, what's the ownership of this spot I'm about to go to this dispensary for?
Yeah.
Which also leads into the idea that like, maybe we should be looking to give dispensaries to people who got shit on.
Right.
The people who are shit on by the system. I've always thought that what they should do is they should go, listen, because we were obviously wrong about this whole weed illegal thing. We're going to give a 6-month opportunity for you to create a legal business out of whatever money you have with no questions asked, right? Like if you want to make a weed business,
oh my God, the streets would be hot.
You got 6 months to get your shit together and we'll allow you to go legit.
Yo,
right?
I got them O's. I got O's for 150, my dude. Come on, we moving them. Come on.
If you want to go legit, like here's a no question, and you've made money selling weed for the last 15 years illegally, we're going to give you 6 months to take whatever that income was and make that a legit. You got to buy a storefront. You got to have a real operation up and running. But like, it's that should be the opportunity.
I don't think 6 months is long enough. I think it should be a little longer.
Well, I think if you've put together a small business,
I think Bobby's talking about. He's not talking about the cat that sells nicks and dimes here and there.
No.
He's talking about the cats that's organized and already got like car washes and shit like that.
I'm talking about people who would be legit if they could just be allowed to be legit, right?
Yeah, because
I get that. But I'm saying even in that, you motherfuckers locked up way more people in a longer time. So you can give us a year. You can give us a fucking year.
Actually, here's one of those things that technically they lose the license revenue. However, they'd still get the tax revenue from the business tax revenue. I think they should just grant those licenses 100%. Like there should be, especially if they locked up somebody strictly for like weed. Like I actually have a homie. He happens to be white, but he was allegedly supplying a lot of the South Side with weed, and he did 5 years. And he was getting weed from I don't want to say where, but he was getting American weed. It was all American operation, but he was doing it right before the shit got legal. Yeah. Like he literally got out. 6 months before I think this shit became legal.
Weed has been legal in places in America for a while. Like in Michigan, in Ann Arbor, it's been decriminalized for 50 years. You know what I mean? Like I think it's a $5 ticket, or it's like at most a $5 ticket or something. You get caught with weed in Ann Arbor, Michigan. So like obviously that's a good place to grow weed too. Then probably and not get in trouble.
Absolutely, there are farms.
Also, you know, these southern states that have these giant plantations and shit. And you know, if you have the type of power you use to power like a farm that's going to keep a bunch of animals that you're then sending off to slaughter, you can for sure just add a hydroponics unit somewhere in there too. Like, you know what I mean? Like if you have a bigger, to understand what acreage is to understand.
Now that they're about to decriminalize and basically legalize weed, because all the states will legalize it once it's decriminalized. This is the only time in my life that I have any regret that I did not learn farming from my grandfather. Because I would love to actually know how to run a farm. My family had farmland, and to my great grandfather sent all his sons up here to get factory jobs and shit like that.
Yeah,
and it worked out nice financially, but ain't none of us farmers no more.
Yeah, my mom owned a third of. Go ahead, Rob.
No, you go. I'm listening.
My mom owned a third of a farm because my grandmother, she owned a farm in Southern Illinois, and when she passed, it was left to my mom and her sister and brother. But my aunt got sick, and so they really needed money out of that thing, and so they ended up selling it. Like it was maybe less than a decade ago, but it was almost 200 acres in Southern Illinois.
Holy shit.
If they'd have been able to hold on to that, like what they could lease that out for to grow hemp on right now, or to grow weed on right now, would be amazing. But
so here's something that's interesting. Because I mean, since we're talking about it, we're way off script, but I don't give a fuck. This is great conversation. Southern Illinois right now, for some reason, a lot of land has been bought up by the government, by the federal government. A really large amount of land. So much so, a friend of mine, I won't say his name because I don't know if he wants me to say it or not, but a friend of mine's family works in an industry that they are very tied into, the Southern farm industry, and there's a big complaint about the government buying up all the land, and unless they're about to put a military base or something in that motherfucker, that's land that could be returned to people who had land taken from them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, there's so many options they could use to try and right some of the ills and some of the wrongs and some of the craziness that's gone on with it.
Nigga, I take land in Wyoming. I take 200 dusty acres in Wyoming because I turned that shit into something.
It's
I just have 200 dusty acres in Wyoming, whatever.
It's a great place for people. I mean,
200 years from now, my great grands might. I don't know. You don't know what the world will be like 200 years from now. I'd like to have that shit to just in the fucking XL family name.
It'll be warmer. in Wyoming in 200 years. It'll be probably closer to the ocean in 200
It's probably
years.
gonna be wetter. It's probably gonna be wetter.
It'll be more moist. It's gonna be very livable.
Yeah. It's probably gonna be a motherfucking tropic out there.
I'm just in my mind as y'all talking. I'm just going back on how to get rich again, and you know, like how the original people who got rich, who running shit now, how did they get there? So it's some things you need.
They stole a lot of shit.
Right. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like once you stole it, you got to do something with it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so what I'm saying is like, some of them came over here and had money and was on the top of the boat, but it wasn't a lot of them, right? So they probably got their foothold from already having a foothold, right? But there were some who came here, got a foothold here and got it done. So what did you need to get it done? Well, you got to need to own the space that you in. You need to own shit that you could actually make money from when there's no infrastructure at all.
Well, that's how they separated them from everyone else when it came time to who got to make the rules, right?
Right. Exactly.
Landowners.
Exactly. So what I'm saying is like, so I'm thinking in my mind, it ain't never bad to own land. So let's just start as we go through this. Let's start thinking about life as a business. Let's stop thinking about it as like you got to devote some of your time to getting dough. And so I'm just saying, like, so if as we sit here, as people sit here and think about it, let's start thinking about what we're gonna have to buy so we can pass some shit on to our children so they can live easier. Because these people have been doing it for hundreds of years. And now we're in a position better than ever before to be able to do it. So
or working towards a situation that creates more shared of that wealth, right? Like push for situations in which it's less of how to make sure that you're the next person who is keeping other people from getting anything because you're like holding all the resources, and how to make sure that we're a people that shares all of our resources to make sure everybody got them.
I mean, I'm not against that at all. I'm not against that at all. But I'm just saying, first in my mind, because I ain't got that much left time left.
Right.
I got to get us the resources. You know what I'm saying? That's you niggas' job, y'all. I'm just trying to get the resources up.
Yeah, I mean, it's an easy thing to say when you got resources, right? Like, just spread them around.
Let me get that done.
To get us actually on track, that does kind of bring us to what we were going to talk about today, because we are obviously talking about the coup and the impeachment and how the thing still isn't over. And it's going to guide us into some of the stuff that we're talking about, because you're talking about how you get control and how you get in charge of running something. And I was listening to something the other day that was talking about how austerity politics plays a role in white supremacy, and how they use that in regards to things like taxes and the tax structure and the taxpayers. Like, they originally were trying to, their fighting back against taxes was originally a thing that they fought against in the Reconstructionist South, right? Like, because all of a sudden the tax collectors were black guys. You know what I mean? Like, once South Carolina started getting like black people in the legislature, then the guy who showed up to collect taxes was often the guy who looked like a former slave to these people that were slave owners.
Master, can I get that money up at your black ass?
So all of a sudden, this thing about we got to lower the taxes was like, we got to keep these niggas off our property. That's literally what the shit was. But, it's funny because it's still echoed now, right? Like, it's still a tool in politics now. These people that argue about, Mitt Romney, we only got to appeal to the taxpayers, the 47% who pay taxes, people out, the people that, the people that are trying to equate us.
A few things you can do. Continue in the Google Home app.
The people.
Sorry, but sorry.
I was
about
like,
that.
Who's the fourth in here? Who jumped out? Is Joey back? I was
looking for Joey. Like, where did he go?
No, it's one of those things where they're still using that now, right? They still act like their rights are more important for some reason, because they claim it's that their taxpayers in the left side isn't. And that is one of the big things that's created this issue. And it's confusion driven by Trump, who was kicked off of every platform. I think, was that Saturday or Friday when that happened? That was Friday night or Saturday when you started getting booted off everything.
Yeah.
Friday.
It was
it that late? I thought it was like Thursday. It was like right after that shit.
Yeah, he got out.
It was like the day after.
Well, we did the show and he was still on there, wasn't he?
Parler still existed. That's what it was, but he was off Twitter, I think, by the time we did the show.
Let me see.
Maybe they hadn't permanently. I thought they suspended him, and then they.
It was Friday night.
It was Friday night. Okay.
Yeah, it was Friday.
That was when
night.
they permanently though, right?
No.
That was when they suspended him.
Man, they gave him a 12-hour shutdown right after.
They gave him a 12-hour shutdown.
Yes.
Hold on. Yeah, permanent. The permanent was Friday.
Yeah,
it was Friday night.
But yeah, he was already suspended. I tweeted some shit. I reposted somebody that was just a joke about him trying to get on Barron's Twitter account.
Yeah.
It was like, Melania, it's mommy. If you untweet her, get off. The ferret is coming. The ferret is coming, or some shit like that. Anyway, that's a true shit. He was actually trying to jump on other Twitter accounts.
Oh yeah, he tried to jump on POTUS. He jumped on POTUS. They shut that down.
He jumped on the White House.
He jumped on the White House when they had to shut. They had to shut down.
Like,
how is this your guy?
You know how fucking far down he had to go to get to the dude who ran the White House account? That's not somebody in his inner circle. that's a low level motherfucking thing. That's not something that's important.
Man. Again, I just gotta ask you, how horrible a white person you have to be to get kicked off of every part of Twitter that you have access to and still be a multimillionaire and the president. Like the president
look, kick this nigga off Pinterest, dog. Off Pinterest.
Wait, are you for real? I thought you were kidding. Oh shit!
I'm not kidding. They kicked him off Pinterest. You can't sell Trump shit on Etsy no more, dog. You can't any Shopify stores that were built to sell like Donald Trump shit. It's all and like you said, Rob, and he's still running. Like, how do so many? It's one of those things where, like, when you know, saying like, if everybody around you, like, if you think everybody else is the asshole, maybe it's you. You know what I mean? Like,
and I just want and back to the ownership thing. I just want to jump back on the ownership real quick. That brings me back to my new special. I want you all to check out my new special coming out in a couple weeks called Lockdown.
Yeah. Do we actually get the lockdown sound? That's dope. Lockdown. Yeah. That's amazing.
We got it.
That's nice. That's nice. But yeah, I just wanted to hear that. That's all.
Say the name of the special one more time for the people again, just in case.
Lockdown.
Love it.
Nice.
That's great. I'm glad that we have that.
Wow.
I don't even want to know that. If you ever just throw it in, I wouldn't even recognize it because since we're in different places. James is the only one I think that can hear it. I can't hear it on my end. So if you're the audience listening at home, it may interrupt us when it comes, but James is on notice that whenever he hears it and feels like dropping it, he's able to bring it up. So. If he hears lockdown, he could just say it.
Hey, I didn't know that I could just wish for shit and it was gonna happen. So in that being said, I need for us to win the Powerball.
I'll do my best.
Okay. Get on that Q.
Is Trump allowed to play the lottery? Because that might be what he. What is he still allowed to do? You know what I mean?
Hey, let me tell you something. If Trump won the lottery, I'm joining the militia, nigga. Because this nigga's magic. I'm done. Hey, I hate this motherfucker. But if he won the lottery, then
it'd be over, right? You'd be like, well, obviously something is up with him, right? Like
that would be the coolest.
He has got a power. Like I think the key is you'd have to get close enough to steal whatever he's got.
He got the fucking book from the future, dude. Like for real. Like because even if you had the book from the future, you'd still fuck it up. That's why he doesn't understand why this shit's not working. Like he's supposed to win.
He just got the end stats, but you don't know how it's getting there.
Yeah, he keeps fucking up the future that he already knows it's supposed to be. That's why he's so fucking confused right now. We just figured this whole shit out.
Man, I know.
So he wins the Powerball. I'm joining the militia, nigga. This nigga's a genie, and I gotta hang out with him.
Hey man,
you gotta hang out with Christian Walker. Before we say,
I don't know who that is.
I have my issue. Like I'm just looking at the thing that we had on our chain today about how there are no more vaccine doses left. So all these people thinking they get a second allotment and they done gave all the shit away, like it's already gone. So now
they were supposed to up the vaccine release to get more of it out. And Trump told everybody that they had all this extra stock
that they were holding back.
Yeah, because ideally when you're manufacturing something like this, especially for the first time, you manufacture extra in case some shit's fucked up, right? Oh, the batch is bad. Well, thank goodness you made extra. But they never kept any extra. They just were unloading shit the whole time. There is no extra to unload. They can't. It is a Ponzi scheme. I try to it's weird because, X and I have a similar sales background. And I know, like he knows, that there is an onslaught of people trying to sell how to sell courses, right? Like courses on how to sell. They are everywhere. There are people, there's been movies made, the George Clooney movie where he's got to go around firing people and shit. That whole movie is about him trying to be a good, self-help guy. And those guys are almost always guys who are like salespeople. It's always these guys who are like, I built up my business to $1 gajillion, even though no one's ever heard of me. And now I teach these courses. And every one of them sounds like this dude. It's all this, it's the same shit. That call he had with homeboy in Georgia, where he's trying to get him to do some shit, sounds like every sales.
That shit sounded like some mafia shit to me.
It sounds like every sales trainer I've been on whose style I was like, that sounds like people would hate you even if they bought from you. And that's exactly what it is. Like, how many salespeople do you know where their customers hate them but still buy from them?
Yeah.
A bunch, right? And it's all because these people are just like full steam ahead. They'll listen to whatever the fuck you're talking about. Is just like, no, you should do it today. Okay, that I get why you're saying that, but that, this isn't going to be here in a week. You need to do it right now. Let's just sign up. Well, I mean, whatever. There's a cancel. You got 3 days. It's
like every time you say no, they're like, I understand how you feel, and this is why you should do this in here, and then sign here, and everything. And like, no matter what your no is, the motherfucker's got like a judo ass flow with words though to turn that no into another reason why you need to go ahead and just sign.
There's a salesman named Steve Schiffman, and I remember him because I used his sales technique when I first got into sales, and he had this thing called the ledge. And the way the ledge worked is whatever somebody used as an excuse to try and push you off the ledge, that's what you use to keep them in it. So you'd be like, all right, well, I want you to buy this vacuum cleaner. Like, well, I don't really need a vacuum cleaner. You go, everybody I've run into say they don't need a vacuum cleaner, but when they find out everything that this vacuum cleaner does, they want to rethink it. And then you just go right back into the next part of the deal. And that is exactly what that guy does in all of his conversations. He's just a nonstop pitch man, but he's pitching vaporware. He doesn't have anything. Have anything.
That, that to me, that sounds rather sociopathic, right? Like if I tell you no, see, so this is what I've learned. Over the years, people have pitched me many things that I didn't need. And I went there to get some free shit they was giving away, right?
So you sat through some pitches.
Yeah, I sat through the bullshit. One time I bought some shit that I actually did use. Wow. But outside of that, I never, I didn't do none of this shit. So I'm sitting in this sale and I'm listening to this motherfucker talk to me the first time. I'm like, okay, all of that is bullshit. And I know that's bullshit, right? And he's talking with that same rhythm. I understand that, but no, motherfucker, what I'm telling you is I ain't buying the shit, right? So it's not, there's nothing that you can say that's going to change my mind. And so when they keep talking after a while, I'm like, did you not? Okay, where's my free shit? You know what I'm saying? You promised me some free shit. Give me my free shit, or I'm going to get silly in here. Get my shit so I can get the fuck out of here. Because if you keep on talking to me like I'm stupid, I'm going to make everybody in here know that you think I'm stupid. And if they had any thought of buying any of this shit, they won't be buying it now. Now give me my shit so I can get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? That's the way when every time I go in there with the attitude of fuck you and whatever you're saying. I'm talking about, man, when I get ready to go in, my wife's so cheap, she be team fuck them through the door. Like, you might have a shot with me, but we getting ready to go in, and she started talking to me like I'm 4. All right, we're going to go in this motherfucker. We're going to bring shit. You're going to bring your black ass out. I don't give a fuck who problems is in there. Don't buy nothing. Because I feel sorry for a motherfucker. All right, I'll buy the shit. But she like, nope, fuck them. And then when you an asshole about it, that's gonna make me not even have to refer to her. Now, if
Right.
you come to me with some crybaby shit, I might go, but you're gonna keep telling me, yeah, no, you're not really feeling what you're feeling. No, I'm feeling exactly what the fuck I'm feeling. I'm feeling about this shit.
You know, it hit me. That's why he appeals to like older people. That's why they buy into his shit, because white people are the ones that bought all them timeshares.
This is
And
the thing. This is what I was about to say.
Have you ever been to a timeshare presentation? It's his sales pitch. It is his sales pitch nonstop.
What I'm about
And then,
to say,
that's the other thing, dude. They go down to a lower price point. So we asked you to get the diamond shit, but since you can't buy the diamond shit, maybe you get the gold. Okay, well, we got one more option for the broke niggas, and it's this, like it's the same shit.
Yeah. I'm not trying to. This is gonna sound racist, but I'm gonna say it anyway.
Has that ever stopped us before?
I think Black people are used to conflict. I shouldn't even just say Black people. People of color, all of us have conflict, a lot of conflict in our lives. And so we deal with conflict. And when shit like that happens, you like, give me my shit before I act a motherfucking fool in here. Because you don't give a fuck. Yeah, you want conflict, we have conflict. White people are very adverse to conflict. Like if they, in a public setting, can avoid conflict. Okay, look, if I sign this, can I just go? Like, and that's why that shit works. And I mean, they the motherfuckers with the money. So that's the shit
it's
shit
funny.
works.
It's after last week. It's funny to hear you say that white people are averse to conflict because they literally stormed the Capitol with nooses and shit.
But
they seem to stop being so averse to conflict.
As soon as they start popping motherfuckers, the niggas froze up. But when they shot that chick trying to go through the window, hey, she's a motherfucking traitor. I don't give a fuck. They shot that chick going through the motherfucking window. That whole crowd, they was motherfuckers throwing chairs trying to break through the window. Pop! Oh shit, we gotta get back to Ohio. Like the motherfuckers froze the fuck up.
You know why that was successful? Because my man who was doing the shooting had cover. I'm gonna go out here, pop this bitch, and get out the way. All the shit you shoot, I'm gonna shoot back. Once you run out, I'm gonna shoot another one of you motherfuckers.
They arrested the guy who shot that video, and it quickly got spread around that he was a left-wing Antifa cat. And then people, and so like, of course, the right jumped all over it, right? They're like, "Oh, look, we got one. We got us look, it was an Antifa guy in the Capitol." And it turns out that a bunch of people who are involved in the shit in Seattle, like months ago, had posted like warnings about him as a dude who was showing up at the protest trying to start shit. He had a Twitter handle that was someone called like Watch Riot Porn. I think that's what Watch Riot Porn was, his Twitter handle. And so they were, even as far back as like October, November, they were accusing dude of showing up at rallies and protests and like trying to lead people into places where they would like forcefully run into cops and then like force it to start. And so they would been pointing this guy out. So it's again still this attempt. Like that's the thing that pisses me off is that's like the shit happened. Like the shit happened, and the thing that should happen is a lot of people on the right should go, wow, we have a real problem on our side. And while we still think we're right when it comes to the financial and economic aspects of what we're talking about, like obviously this is insane and we got to get these guys the fuck out of here. So whatever's got to happen to them has got to happen, right? But instead, they're still so quick to try and claim it's not their fault, that they are not responsible. And the whataboutism, like the fact that their defense of it is this isn't any different than your need to protest to the equivocation of Black lives, right? Like,
yeah,
like you can't compare this to a BLM protest. It's just not the same. We're not talking about the same thing.
In any way,
the shit is so far different. And also, even if you could somehow make a one-to-one comparison, let's say that 100% Black Lives Matter motherfuckers was out there protesting, and they was like, I'm getting me some sneakers tonight, and I'm getting me some TVs. You cannot compare raiding a Best Buy to the fucking Capitol and trying to commit a coup. You can't compare those two things. That's like comparing murder to skinning a motherfucker's knee. It's a way like TVs can be replaced. We can't get a new America. If you break it, it's fucking broken. Like if they went in there and murdered if they had got to Nancy, if those motherfuckers had somehow succeeded, all right, by some fucking goof, if that black cop didn't do that fucking magic trick on those fucking idiots, and they took a right instead of a left, and they ran in there and grabbed a senator, or God forbid, got AOC. We would have seen.
I'm getting angry.
we would have saw murder. We would have saw murder on TV.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We would have saw murder on TV.
You probably would have seen worse. You probably would have seen, everything involved in that process leading up to it. And that's the thing that's like, the other part of that too is that the people who are involved in investigating it, Mickey Sherrill, who I think is former military herself, came out and said that there were people that were standing up in opposition to not only the certification, but also the impeachment, who were seen on closed circuit TV on January 5th, giving tours to the same people that you saw in the Capitol building the next day. People like Louis Gohmert, people like Jim Jordan, people like Lauren Boebert, who also was tweeting out Nancy Pelosi's location throughout the whole thing.
Hey, you know what? I'm sorry. I know this is gonna sound like some weed shit, but I'm starting not to believe this shit is real, man. Like I think somebody for this can't be real.
You're just starting?
No, I'm saying
starting to believe what can't
like
be real.
This whole fucking thing. Okay.
Like so this reality?
Yes, this reality. This whole reality. This shit is a simulation. Here's the deal. These motherfuckers stormed the Capitol, but they walked in like a single file line through velvet ropes, right?
Right.
They were going after Nancy Pelosi and all them, but all those motherfuckers just happened to get away, right? All these dudes, this motherfucker led, like he was the Pied Piper, led a riotous mob, all that happened to go the right way. Like Aaron Sorkin is writing this shit. He's just writing like some horrorcore shit. Like this is insane. It's insane that the fact that, because I was just saying the thing about seeing a murder on TV, it's insane that we actually did. I mean, other than the chick that got popped, it's insane that we didn't see more of that.
Well, the thing is, man, is and we talked about this.
They had just enough security to not get nobody killed.
We talked a little bit about this yesterday, and that is, and you kind of touched on with what if they got a hold of one of these people issues is like, the problem with human beings is that we struggle with understanding the depth of what's happening in the present, because time doesn't move the same way as when you look at what happened in the past. And what I mean by that is Hitler lost the first attempt he had in 1923 and didn't obtain power until 33. That's 10 years of just obviously conflict building and building and building, like an issue that is building. And so in these moments, it seems very much like this doesn't seem like it's reality until later when you look back, just like we will also look back on last year and that whole pandemic thing, and we'll be like, you mean they wouldn't just put on masks? Like in hindsight, it will look like the most ridiculous refusal in the world for who died and what you got out of it. And it's the same way that in this moment, it doesn't seem real, because the idea that you could have gotten a hold of 4 or 5 Congress people and killed them. You could have gotten a hold of Mike Pence. There could have been way more. Or maybe in the attempt to get a Nancy Pelosi, 4 guys who were protesting rioting could have died, right? What if the Secret Service people or the security that were helping them were just like, oh, okay, well, this is the rule when you get this close. We got to just shoot all y'all now. It could have been way more insane. But I think the thing we get caught up in is we're not done. That's the first one.
Well, I think that a lot of it feeds on itself. They didn't shoot them because they was white. they tried their best not to shoot the one white girl they shot.
That's
They
true
don't
too.
want to see them die.
But even beyond that attack, the fact that these motherfuckers, like you said, Louis Gohmert was tweeting Nancy Pelosi's location or whatever. Hey, we're not cool no more. Like you do that, I'm popping you myself. Like in the motherfucking Capitol.
Well, that's the growth in the division, right? Because even when they used to disagree on politics and shit like that, they would still be dining together in Georgetown at night, right?
Yeah.
Like the Republicans and Democrats. It's like a football game at the end, or like the WWE when they're done, right? They slam each other through tables and they go get dinner together.
I'm saying like, I'm not.
Yeah, we can't do that shit no more.
No,
we can't do that shit no more.
Do that shit no more.
These niggas, you tried to kill me, nigga.
I'm saying like I'm with you on that. I'm with you 100%. It would be no way in the fuck I would be Nancy Pelosi looking at this motherfucker in front of me and telling people, hey, send a couple of dudes over there, smack the shit out of him. He tried to kill me, and I would do it on the what is it? The C-SPAN. I would do the shit on C-SPAN. Or I would throw my hammer at him or something. I'm fucking dude up. When I see you, put up the dukes.
I talked to the producer from the floor. Hey, which camera is it? Which is
Well, you know, that shit happens in other countries. You've seen that shit in other countries
It
where
would
somebody
happen
finally
here,
loses it.
but-
I mean, well, listen, hear me. It's going to. There's an issue when they were first having the one certification situation where homeboy tried, that anesthesiologist from the GOP tried to rile up homeboy who used to be a linebacker for the goddamn Texans. Okay? This man used to be a linebacker for the Texans and is now a congressman. And you're gonna talk some shit, he will choke slam you, dude.
Hey,
through the floor.
Dude, it's so funny. What's his name? Corey Allred, is that his name?
It's a Colin Allred.
Colin Allred.
Allred, that's it.
Dude, I heard like 3 or 4 white. It was one Hispanic and like 2 white congressmen all mentioned that dude. Like they're all like, I was standing behind Colin Allred.
Yeah, it was a bunch of them. It was like, well, I was cool. I'm behind that big nigga.
Yeah,
you know that's how that shit goes down. Actually, when you're one of the bigger dudes in the room,
if you watch,
flock to you.
So this is so crazy because if you watch the video of like when the shit looks like it's about to jump off, you can't see him in the shot. But you see like the shadow of like somebody stand up or whatever, and that's when you see the white dude's like, oh, okay. Like what's
they think it's behind this guy?
Yeah. Once Colin stood up, he's one of the impeachment managers. I can't think of his fucking name.
The new ones or the old ones?
Yeah,
Raskin?
No, younger dude. He's always on MSNBC. I can't think of his fucking name.
Connor Lamb?
Nah.
Don't matter.
Doesn't matter. But he's in the shot when the shit jumps off and he like jumps up. But you can see he sees dude first because his eyes flip. He goes like he looks at what's happened, then he sees dude, then he jumps up.
Yeah, I think it's also very important to recognize that like if you have a violent insurrection at the Capitol and we are sitting here saying it's in support of Donald Trump and white supremacy, and your first response is to bring up Black Lives Matter, then you are also saying that your attack was about white supremacy.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Like if your first thing is to frame this into a racial argument or to find out how if your whataboutism is like straight to BLM, then you're kind of putting yourself out there over what's going on. And also booing Cory Bush on the Congress floor is not helping either.
Dude. Especially when he said the white supremacists, it's like, hey, a dude carried the motherfucking Confederate flag. Well, excuse me. He carried the shit that they call the Confederate flag, which isn't actually the Confederate flag. We got to call it
the Confederate battle flag. It's what they call it now. That's the code.
But it wasn't even a battle flag. That flag didn't even exist during the Confederate.
They made it after the war was over.
That shit didn't happen until after the war was over. So calling it a battle flag. Anyway,
it's like a Confederate commemorative flag. It is the symbol of the current, the American Nazi Party is what I would call it. The symbol of, to be honest with you, the American Nazi Party is what that symbol looks like.
Exactly. So to my point, they were carrying the American Nazi Party flag through the motherfucking Capitol foyer or whatever the fuck the thing is called, the rotunda.
The rotunda.
Yeah, well, like you said last week, Rob, I mean, they took down the American flag and were raising the Trump flag instead.
So when she called him a white supremacist president, it was accurate as fuck. Like
incredibly,
it was accurate as fuck. And them booing is like you said, it's telling as fuck. 74 million people have voted for almost 75 million people voted for racism. Okay. I know all of them were not white. I know that there were black people who did it and Hispanic people who did it and Asian people who did it. But those are black and Hispanic and Asian people who are okay with racism at some level. Cubans think they white. Like they don't think of themselves in the same way as other Latinos seem to think of themselves. And I'm not Cuban. That's what I've understood.
It's not that Cubans think that they're white. What they know is, okay.
Ricky Ricardo was on TV in the 50s. They think they white.
Not all of them look like Ricky Ricardo. Some of them look like you. And what I'm trying to say is these people have levers that they pull that lead to racism that don't necessarily come from racism. All you got to do with a Cuban is say socialism, and they'd be like, man, fuck that, give me the cracker. Because socialism they lived under was not necessarily regular socialism.
And those weren't white people either. When they were suffering in whatever country they came from, they weren't suffering by white people. So white supremacy doesn't necessarily even see, is there a spot for me on the squad in white supremacy? And they're like, yeah, you get to be the Proud Boys. And they're like, all right, sounds good to me.
Yeah, they see Candace Owens, they're like, well, they fuck with her, so all right. Y'all let some of us in. We just gotta wear this MAGA shit.
Exactly right. But the thing about it is, oh my God, these motherfucking sales calls. The thing about it is, yeah, man, when you get a certain age, everybody calling you trying to sell you shit that you don't want. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, can you? We want to sell you.
You just pick up the phone and tell me you're doing a podcast. I'm gonna have to call you back.
My wife will get it. They just want me to know something about AARP or some shit. Like, goddamn, I know I'm old and I'm at home, but I'm at home because we're in a pandemic. Stop fucking calling me and shit. You know what I'm saying?
That's why they calling you, nigga. They know you ain't gonna be home in 6 months.
That's the best way to get in touch with me. And then I get tired of this. Do y'all get a lot of calls about car warranty shit?
Man,
I get that. Yeah, I get that shit all the time.
Them car warranty motherfuckers.
They be wanting to get them warranties. It's like, man. I'm not trying to buy most shit for this car. I already got enough shit. I already bought a thing I gotta just do shit to regularly. Okay. I don't want to spend more money you know how it is. You'd be like, my car note is going to be this much, and I'm going to make it this much because I have this much for insurance then, and that's all the shit we doing for the car. If we can keep it at this is it. And this is my shows about some warranty shit. It's like, no.
Dude,
Can I watch a channel on that warranty? No. Is the Netflix is the warranty Netflix? Because if not, I don't.
I accidentally put my information in an insurance, like a medical insurance thing. I thought I was on my insurance website and I was on the wrong fucking website. And I put my fucking information in and it got sent to like 1,000 insurance companies. And I'm constantly getting, and they got my name and shit because I thought I wasn't paying attention. I was probably high.
I've done the same thing with insurance where I thought I was putting it into a government site to like find out the best providers for the state I was in. Yeah. And instead it was like, it sent me off onto some crazy shit. It took me months to try and whittle down all the spam and unsubscribes that I had to do. And like,
absolutely. You know what's so funny? My wife don't give a shit about none of it. Like, she'll just, like, if you offer her something very minor, she will try to get that minor shit and give you an email and all types. Let me tell you something, man. This is a true story. I am not lying. Me and Renee were walking past the place, the Celebrity Center, for the what's that
Scientology.
thing? Yeah, we walking past the Scientology joint. There's a wonderful restaurant across the street we used to frequent called Birds. And we would go into Birds and shit, and then we leave out, and there, you go outside, and it's right across the street from Scientology. This half a nosy too, so she like, let's go see Scientology. I'm like, I don't want to go see Scientology. Let's go see Scientology. So I go in here with her to see Scientology. No. I ain't lying, man.
I love yada yada yada. So we checking out Scientology.
So I got the e-meters in my hands, right? They're doing the reading.
I swear to God, man, they put them two things. Here's the thing.
Oh shit! This is why we find out Rob is succeeding now, because he's a level 7 OTA. He done.
Man, this was so funny.
He's actually worth $2 million, but fucking Tom Cruise has all of it.
You know how much you gotta love a person to follow him into Scientology. You know what I'm saying? Right? And then it's you know, and even Scientology was racist. So I'm not giving the lady no attention. And she's talking, and it was us and another couple. And she's talking to them, and I'm not listening to them. This was when I still watch football. I was watching the Bears pregame on on one of them tablet devices. And so she's talking, and I'm not listening. And you know, I'm at the time, I'm just as rude as I was. I'm like, motherfucker! Like when one of my
somebody was out, for the game.
Yeah. So I'm mad about the game. So finally, the lady was like, "You haven't checked your whatevers," and I was like, "Oh yeah." And I'm looking at my wife, and she's like, "We did it." I'm like, "God damn, I got to do this dumbass shit." So I'm holding on to the little things and shit, and the dude turns it on and it don't move. It don't do shit. So he look at me like, "Oh, I got to make some adjustments." So now I'm sitting here waiting for him to make the adjustments. As soon as he get through the adjustment, it go from 0 to high as it could go. You really need this. Now here we are once again in a shitty sales position. She's just because Renee wanted some free shit, or Renee on this point, she just wanted to be nosy.
Right.
But
Let me see what the deal is.
Before I get to before that, I'm walking past before they make me hold the cans, and the lady goes, "This is the actual piano Isaac Hayes played." Bitch, why do I need to know that? Why is that? Why should that be important to me?
Because that's in the manual. If they're black people, point out Isaac Hayes.
Yeah. That's definitely on the list of shit where they're just like, yeah, here's the instructions.
So now they're trying to sell us these dumbass books and shit. And I'm like, well, let me say something. I watch South Park. And the lady goes, none of that is true. None of that is true. I was like, boy, that's some funny shit. I was like, I didn't even have to say it. She was like, I've been involved in this for 19 years. And this the other thing, it is a total sales job. When she asked me where I was from, I told her from Chicago. Oh, I'm from Bloomington, Illinois. And I've been involved in this for 19 years, and I've never seen anything of what you speak. I'm like, yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. And I'm like, Renee, you through yet? And Renee gave him a fake ass name and a fake address. And I'm sure somebody somewhere in Hollywood is still getting shit.
You end up on their list forever.
Well, now that you just confessed to it on the show, y'all gonna be getting a phone call,
right? They're gonna be trying to pull you back in now. They don't want you, especially got some shit going on.
It's gonna be a tweet. Rob, Mr. Hyde.
This is Scientology. We gotta. This is Tom. Tom. Yeah, Tom Cruise. I'm on the set of Mission Impossible, keeping my distance from people, but I wanted to call you up.
That's what it's going to take to build the foundation. I'll hang out with Tom Cruise crazy ass so we can get us some money. Shit.
I'm very concerned because it's been rumored that he's been dating Haley Atwell, who is Agent Carter from the Marvel series. And if he turns her to Scientology, I'll be very sad because this man is ruining people.
Bobby turns her to? He's dating her. He's dating her already. I think the deal is done.
I know. I don't like it. Well, you get the. I think they let him test it out for a little bit, right? He tests each of them.
Is that what it is?
I think that's what the deal is. I don't know. I don't see much difference between Scientologists and these people that follow this homie that's about to get kicked out, right? There's always an excuse for this shit, man. There's always an excuse for it, no matter what's going on.
He said that homie is about to get kicked out.
He's not doing shit. He ain't got no platform. He definitely doesn't want to give an interview where someone's going to ask him a question, right? Like, because he's going to have to say some shit about, like, if they don't want to have to answer, like, why aren't you conceding? He's leaving the morning. He's leaving Washington the morning of the election, like an asshole. You know,
I don't trust that shit, man. I don't trust that shit. This nigga has been compared to a mafia don this entire time, and I've always felt he was too much of a pussy to actually be a don. But if you give a pussy motherfucker power, he can push other motherfuckers to do shit. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think there's going to be issues at the Capitals on the during the inauguration?
Yes, and I think him not being there. Think about this shit. This is just like the end of a mafia movie. All his enemies are there. The Obamas gonna be there. The Obamas gonna be there. Mike Pence gonna be there. Fucking Biden gonna be there. All his enemies gonna be there. He just wipe all them niggas out at once. Nancy Pelosi gonna be there. All the niggas, everybody he hate gonna be there.
Here's the problem with all that shit. I'm with you, and I'm not gonna be surprised if something happens. But what's going to happen if something does is they're gonna beat them motherfuckers to a pulp. They're gonna fuck these people up because it's gotten to the point where they have to. Let me just tell you this. I watch news all day long, and I'll be finished. I won't,
No. Say what you gotta say.
I watch news all day long, and I heard a white dude from the FBI tell the camera, we got at least 200 you motherfuckers on tape.
I saw that.
We got at least 200 you motherfuckers on tape. In addition to that, we gonna find the rest of you motherfuckers. Now dig this. They done said this shit to a bunch of white folks. You ain't never heard the FBI tell a bunch of white folks, bitch, we coming. These motherfuckers is tired of this bullshit. I'm saying the people who run this shit is tired of this bullshit. They like, look, we got this pandemic. Y'all giving these motherfuckers money. Our money is slowing down. We need you to get this shit under control and keep these people thinking it's a democracy, because our shit is starting to get a little lower than we like.
I mean, this dude's about to leave out with an approval rating that's in like 30% or something. There's a bunch of people that'll be glad if this dude never ran for office again. I think that it's very important to recognize that white racism so far is undefeated. You know what I mean? Like, so far, white racism is undefeated. Like, we may think that like we've made some good strides here as non-white people, but like I told Exes yesterday too. I was like, in Tulsa in 1920, they for sure were sitting there like, well, they wouldn't just like bomb us or anything, right? Like for sure that wouldn't happen. Right? Like they weren't sitting around in Philadelphia when they fucked up a bunch of black businesses there. They weren't just like, well, they wouldn't obviously just come in here and just massacre people, would they? Yeah, they would. Like,
but here's the difference, though, bro. Let me just say this: the one difference is that there is some segregation involved. Now they will kill white folks that act like, like Jay Webb, you in trouble. If they come, it's over with for you, dog. They come for your ass. But other people, they might not come for it because they got them as agents to know what's going on.
Right.
Just real quick example. The building that I live in, the dude upstairs just joined Telegraph. Now,
Telegram.
Now he was also in the military. Real cool dude, brought me cookies for Christmas and all this other shit. But when I talked to him, I noticed that he consistently backs up towards the Trumpian position. You see what I'm saying?
If he's on Telegram.
Telegraph, the one where we used to do the dumb shit. What was the gift circles and shit? Wherever Telegraph was where they did dumbass gift circles where they give me $100 and I give 2-3 other motherfuckers $100.
Right.
And he's on that, and that's where they're going now, is to that.
Yeah, and they've been going there. They've been going to Signal. They're spreading out to a bunch, and I'm not sure if that's.
Man, they on Signal.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's better or worse. You know what I mean? I think it'll create a lot more of a situation where you'll see wild side acts as opposed to better coordinated things. You'll see smaller coordinate, which is why I have concerns for the Capitals, because I feel like their interest in trying to do something is going to create an issue when it comes down to that. I 100% trust that there is a level of white America that is willing to act a fool big enough to either have to be put down in a major way or you end up succeeding. And it's always, it's, when you look back through history, nobody gave a fuck about the tax rate in the middle of the last century, because the high tax rate was helping white people get ahead and segregation was still in place. And when we talked about the tax stuff earlier in the 1800s and during Reconstruction and how there was a big tax issue. And the reason why West Virginia even became West Virginia is because the Mountainists were not down for the fucking slavery shit, because they were broke ass white people. And at the time they recognized, like, yeah, we don't like this elite class bullshit either, right? Like that's right. We also suffering by this weird tax shit, because those people who paid a lot of their shit in like whiskey trades were forced to have to come up with the same taxes as other people that own giant land elsewhere. And so, and then in the 30s and the 40s, when FDR created the New Deal, and that was all built to help white people who came home from the war and help them get a good start. Nobody gave a fuck about the high tax rate. And then the Civil Rights Act shit started. And then everybody was concerned about taxes when Nixon. That's how Nixon came in, on a threat of like lowering taxes because we got to stop the taxpayers. And then when Reagan came in, it was all about your tax dollars and not helping the welfare queens. And here we are again in a situation where the voice has gotten loud one more time, right? About the tax dollars and who's controlling those. But that still comes back. It's still white supremacy politics.
Absolutely.
It's still white supremacy politics. And I'm not sure if it's going to get anywhere. I want to get into some lighter shit before we get out of here. Marvel is back. WandaVision is out today. The first 2 episodes are out there. I think I'm the only person who's seen them on the show, so we are not talking about them this week.
I don't even know what they are.
Thank you.
It's on Disney. On Disney Plus.
Y'all gonna make me subscribe to this shit. Well, I'm gonna have to beg somebody for their password.
I gave you my password.
Talk to one of us. Yeah, X gave it to you. Get on with that.
I gave you my password. He don't even remember.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He couldn't find the show link for today, and we were on here like 2 days ago.
I couldn't. Hey, by the way, I thought it was telegraphed too, Rob. So that's some old guy shit right there.
Yes. Yes.
I will tell you, I watched the first 2 episodes of WandaVision, and I couldn't spoil it for you if I wanted to, because it is all I can say is it was just mysterious enough. Like I get the essence of what's happening, but it's just mysterious enough that like if I told you what was happening, you'd be like, well, that doesn't really tell me anything. I'd be like, yeah, I know. It's a setup that there's a setup happening that they are still setting up, and I am here for it, is what I would say.
How many seasons of this is there?
It's the first one. They just started. So now that the last Marvel movie shit ended, they are now moving to this thing where they are going to have some of their characters are going to continue on in these short series. They're going to be like 6 or 8 episodes. I think this is 10, but they're 30-minute episodes. And then they're going to have some that are like 6 or 8 episodes, but those will be like 40 minutes long. So they're basically shooting like a couple of movies worth and putting that into like a season essentially for these characters, that showing where they're going, and that will lead them into the next set of movies they're doing. So they'll all intertwine now, which they didn't before. I will suggest, if you look to see some dope ass black shit that isn't necessarily American black shit, there's a new show called Lupin on Netflix. It is about this dude there's a book called Arsène Lupin. There's all these stories about Arsène Lupin. It's this, it was a French gentleman thief. He was this amazing gentleman thief. And there's a new version of it out of series. And the main star of it is this black cat. If you saw X-Men Age of Apocalypse, he's the dude who plays Bishop in Age of Apocalypse. But it's a dope ass show. There's only 5 episodes, so it's the first part of the first season is only 5 episodes, but it's a badass show. It's dope, and that's
the thing that's on our chain.
It's on Netflix. I'll send
it.
Yes.
Lupin. It's a pretty dope show, and he's dope in it too. It's badass, and there's a whole bunch of team based shit going on there too. So his chick is white. It's great. The last thing I want to talk about, we are all basketball fans. There's a crazy ass trade in the NBA. Harden had been bitching about being in Houston this whole time. He finally got his trade. He's going to Brooklyn to play with the Nets. I'm 5 years out. He's going to Brooklyn to play with KD and Kyrie Irving.
Who's gonna play defense?
That's what they got white boy for. That's what Joe Harris is for.
Joe Harris and DeAndre.
They got DeAndre Jordan at the rim. That's their defender. He's gonna have to block everything. That's it.
He's gonna take a break sooner or later. By then, I'll be up 50.
Yeah, he's gonna have to be Rodman in that motherfucker.
They're gonna run so many 4-out ISOs, man.
I mean, yeah, and also it doesn't matter if they play defense. All 3 of them niggas can drop 40. So like. You know, they don't got to stop you every time. They gonna outshoot you. I don't think that's a good team. I don't see that working. Kyrie Irving don't even know. Like Kyrie. I understand if what he's going through is a personal. I'm not going to even say mental health. I just said it. I don't know what he's going through. I don't know what he's going through, so I don't want to put that label out there. But whatever he's going through, he doesn't appear to want to play basketball right now. And even if he does get the feeling back to want to play, that's still a wild card. And James Harden isn't really that great in the playoffs, and who gives a fuck if they put up great numbers in the regular season? Like when they got to play against the Greek Freak, and he putting up 40 and dropping 18 rebounds on them. What the fuck are they gonna do?
I think that's what Kyrie's looking at it like, though, is that Kyrie knows that he knows 10 teams are getting in. He knows that as long as like they're in the mix, I honestly believe, well, I think that if his position is our chemistry, I know KD, I know James, I feel like we're going to be dope anyway. I think he's not recognizing the amount of effort it will actually take for them to get over that hump with the players they have. I think there's a bit of him that's kind of like, as long as we good by the time we get to the playoffs, we'll be, that's when the real shit's going to kick off.
Man, I have been watching some amazing basketball. That's one of the few sports I still do watch. And the Lakers are man, dude,
that's just not fair.
Man.
That team is so stacked. That team is so amazingly stacked.
Man, dude,
yes.
Wow, I'm just looking at this kid, and sometimes he don't even be trying, and he be.
See, everybody talks about. A lot of people have talked about how Anthony Davis is keeping LeBron young. I believe LeBron is also freeing up Anthony Davis, and that he doesn't have to be the mule. You know what I'm saying? He actually gets to have some fun and finesse a little bit and expand his game and maybe take threes because he's feeling himself, not taking threes because they down 25 and they need this three to try to get a run going or something. Like,
the only thing I missed from last year's team is the center.
Dwight Howard?
Yeah, that's the only, because Dwight Howard plays amazing defense, and he's like a Rodman in that he's always on your nerves. He's loud and shitty. He probably go in the game smelling musty just to get under your skin. You know what I'm saying?
I couldn't imagine Dwight Howard allowing himself to smell bad. He seems like the type of guy who is not interested. He seems like the type of guy who might go put on a little spritz up, little axe in between timeouts.
That's even worse. Now you smelling sweet and you dunking on me. That's even worse. You know what I'm saying? At least smell like a man when you fucking up for me. Don't smell like a flower.
I think the key that's made the Lakers really well, obviously this year they got guys like Montrezl Harrell, who's a fucking beast.
Oh my god!
But I think guys who came through for them and grew last year, like Kentavious Caldwell-Pope and Alex Caruso, were great. But they've also added that homie Talen Horton-Tucker, who's really good.
Yeah, that dude's out of nowhere.
Because when you look at it, like, you can say what you want about what LeBron and Anthony Davis have done for each other, but the guy who led the league in assists last year was LeBron James.
Yeah.
LeBron James, the forward, the 6'8", 270-pound forward in his 17th year of basketball, is the league leader in assists.
I think they listed him as point guard last year.
So like what that means is, to be fair, maybe they did, but like what that means is like it's not just Anthony Davis and LeBron's not doing all the scoring. Kyle Kuzma and the rest of these guys are obviously picking up slack in a way that I don't think they're even getting the respect for because of the fact of who's on.
I also think just, and this is probably, I don't know if this is biased or just seeing it before, but Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan made Will Purdue and Bill Cartwright and them niggas look a little bit better than they ever was. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think the only person ever to leave the Bulls and have any kind of decent career that meant anything anywhere else might have been Steve Kerr. Yeah, he had some shots in a Spurs uniform and won some rings. Other dudes played. Oh no, and Horace Grant. Was decent with Orlando. Other than that, all them other niggas was trash.
Largely trash. There's two winners out of that trade. I think Houston got the win obviously because they got Victor Oladipo and they got
a shit ton of picks.
They got picks for the next 10 years, the next half decade. They got extra first round picks, and then I think Cleveland got a win because they got Jarrett. They got Jarrett out of Brooklyn. What's it? Jarrett Allen, and I think he's a baller.
Jarrett Allen and Karis LeVert, right?
They got one.
No. Karis LeVert went to the Pacers.
Yeah. They got Jarrett Allen. Yeah, Karis LeVert. They got Jarrett Allen, who I think is a dope addition for the Cavs, who've been doing well. So
yeah, that's a good squad, man. Now those two dudes with Jarrett Allen, Garland and I can't remember the dude they got to replace Kyrie Irving, the point guard.
Garland
is
Colin
Sexton. Colin Sexton. And with Jared Allen, yeah, that dude is going to be yakking on a bunch of people. He likes alley-oops. He flies. That's going to be a fun squad to watch.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one.
One thing I don't understand.
The East is beastly, man.
Y'all know a little bit more about basketball than me. And what I don't understand is why don't anybody play any defense in the Western Conference? Okay, so like
NBA, man. It's gone.
I'm watching dudes like when LeBron James get ready to inbound the ball. When they inbound the ball to LeBron, when the other team score, as soon as LeBron get the ball in his hand, he does the exact same shit every time it's open. He looks down the court, sees that big old 6 million dude down there that jump like a deer, and he throws it to him, and it's a quick score. He don't even have to run the court anymore. And people are not doubling dude, or not even like I wouldn't even guard the inbound anymore. For what?
There are talent issues in that with that squad compared to some of the people they playing. You know what I mean?
The way the game has evolved, and I think it's going to evolve back, because I just think this is how, just like in anything else, we're having this conversation about there being no defense. Somebody was just like, I was literally just watching whatever that hoop show on ESPN that they have every day, that's with Rachel Nichols, The Jump. Yeah, they were just talking about how come there's no defense in the league anymore. Nobody was paying for that. Everybody wanted 3-point shooters. Everybody wanted players that were athletic and able to switch. Patrick Williams for the Bulls right now looks fucking amazing.
God, they look so good.
He's a prototype of exactly the type of player everybody wants. He can hit a three. He's not a 3-point shooter, but he can hit a three. He's talented with the he can get to the basket. He's an athletic freak, and he can play defense on anybody. But that defense on anybody shit is going to lead eventually to a bunch of motherfuckers like him who can guard you. Because, like, imagine if you had a squad with 3 Patrick Williams on it. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I think there's just an element where it only goes so far, man. Offense is going to get you open shots at a certain point, and these guys shoot better than they ever have before. The number of guys who can shoot is greater than ever. And I also think it's a league where, like, you can get up by 20, and that really don't mean shit no more. That's 6-7 possessions, honestly.
That's true.
Like, this should change on a dime. Like, you can watch it. Like, I've watched teams that are down by 18 going into the fourth quarter, and I'm like, well, maybe. I mean, ain't no lock on this one, you know what I mean? Like, who knows?
I watch the Lakers do it every fucking week. Every
week
they do it.
I just saw Richard Jefferson and Robert Horry talk about how KD is unstoppable if he's hitting the three. They were saying out of all the players in the league, who takes the last shot? Like if you had one player that you needed to score the last bucket, they said KD. And they were talking about it with him and Harden and Kyrie. It's always KD because he's 7 feet tall and you can't block that shot. There's nothing you could do. Yeah, it's nothing you could do with a 7-footer that can shoot except watch that shit.
For sure.
Or put another 7-footer who can shoot in front of him.
Right. But even then, he can't. And Kyrie, but
from distance,
Durant got handles. He crossed another 7-footer up.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun watching the game evolve.
Most of them.
It's gonna be fun watching the game evolve, man. Hey, Rob, where can people find you on the socials, man? Where can people catch up with you?
I just want to make mention of my new comedy special. It's called Lockdown.
Yes. Do we have a release date for it?
We haven't. I'll give it to you next week for sure.
Okay, so we'll have a release date dropping next week.
You're working on it right yet. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You're working on it right now. We'll be out soon. Where can people find you?
Yep. At original Toby Jones. At Jones BBQ on TikTok. Robert L. Hines on Facebook. Robert L. Hines 1 on Twitter. And Robert _L _ Hines on
Gotta fix that.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. You can find me on Google.
You got a MySpace or anything?
Find me on Pinterest. Here's my Shopify. Find me on
the Google thing. Very good.
Where you at, X?
X David, XL Comedy,
Where
on
are
everything.
You at, bro?
I'm high as fuck. Is where I'm
He's in the dungeon. He's in the dungeon. You can find me at mocha_Jesus on Twitter and Instagram. It's bobbyhill.com is for the website. Find us at New OGs Pod on Twitter and Instagram. Go over to at People of Comedy and at People of Comedy Network. Find all their great shows, other stuff. Go find James Weber, our producer, and have him make you some artwork, man. ACLYSM on the social media, and have him go put you some shit out. He does a ton of logos.
Can I plug something really quick too?
Yeah.
Tonight at 7:30, Friday night at 7:30, People of Comedy has a very special exclusive event. Joey Villagomez has a new show called Coming Up with Joey V, where he interviews people around Chicago who are doing cool things. And Abby Sanchez also has a show on this network called Legal Aliens that he started with Joey. Abby and Joey are going to be together for the first time since Joey took a hiatus from Legal Aliens tonight at 7:30. So a Legal Aliens reunion show is happening live at 7:30. If you want to come watch, just look up the People of Comedy page on Facebook or go to peopleofcomedy.com. That leads right to our Facebook page. It'll be there.
They're going to make out.
That's awesome.
We're all going to make out, baby. It's going to be
Hope
fun.
they kiss on the mouth. Catch us here next week. We'll be back next Friday. That's what's up.
Go ahead.
They said we couldn't do it, now we do it just to